Hello, my name's Alan Collins. I'm with the Rotary Club of St. Pete West. I'd like to tell you my Rotary story and how it came about. I actually started in Rotary way back in the late 1900s with the Rotary Club of Pinellas Park. I was inducted into that club and worked with Interact and the things that they do there. But that club had a particular program that through the year they would gather names of families that needed assistance within the community. And then at Christmas time, we would gather up, and in those names, we had the children's names, we had their shoe size, clothes size, and basically a wish list for what they wanted for Christmas and through whatever family needs they had. And then a week or two before Christmas, we would gather together and put those boxes and all those gifts together for each individual needy family. Then Rotarians would split up and generally take 3 to 5 families and distribute those on a given day, and the families knew we were coming. All my children were in about the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade at the time, and I would actually take my 3 or 5 boxes of families that I had to deliver, and I'd take my kids with me as we delivered those Christmas gifts. My kids really grew up really not needing a whole lot of anything, but when we would take those baskets in, and my children actually had an opportunity to look at what other families needed and how that affected their families, and just the food and the shoes and stuff like that. And I was able to draw back and watch my kids with the humility that they had. I remember one family we delivered, my youngest son Nathaniel came back out of the car, and when he got in the car, he was actually in tears, and he said, "Dad, we are so fortunate." So that's kind of where I really decided that, okay, this was really something that I wanted to be involved with for the rest of my life. I'm also a polio survivor, and I go back to the things that polio did to my family. My brothers passed away. Most of my first cousins have all passed away. They all suffered from that disease as well. So I've been very active. I'm actually in the Rotary Action Polio Survivors Group. I've been active in our quest to eradicate polio, and this year in 2018, at this point in time, we're down to 8 cases in the world. We're actually down to countdown 0. So the 18th case that we've actually diagnosed in Afghanistan really could be the last case of polio that we have. A lot of those have made Rotary moments for me. And again, my name is Alan Collins. I'm with the Rotary Club of St. Pete West. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Janis, Stacey. I'm from the Rotary Club of Sugar Mill Woods. I moved here over 7 years ago, and my friend Angela Tanzer kept asking me to come to Rotary, and I finally started coming to some meetings, and finally after coming to about 15 meetings, she said, "You might as well join." And I did, and next thing I knew, I was the Interact advisor at Lecanto High School, and I was at for 4 years, and then I became Sergeant at Arms. But I just love the community service, which I learned a lot when my son was in ROTC at St. Martin High School, and working with the community, and it's just been a great experience. And now here I am, President-elect, and I hope to do a lot with our club. We have a small club, but as we say, small but mighty. And I just love Rotary. I love everything that it stands for, and the service above self, and I'm a firm believer in that.
Hi, my name is Tom Feeney. I'm with the Rotary Club of Homosassa Springs. So, I've always heard people talk about their Rotary stories, and honestly, I never had one. Late last year, in 2017, my oldest brother was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. I went up to where he lives to help him get his affairs in order, and how I started was I contacted the Rotary Club of Clarksville, Tennessee, and contacted 2 lawyers that were in that club who graciously agreed to assist me in getting his affairs in order. I went up there and met with them, with my brother. They were so helpful with me. They helped my brother. Actually, my brother ended up passing away, but beforehand, they walked us through the whole process. They actually showed up at the hospital when he was in the hospital to help him get his paperwork signed. They assisted his wife with all of his affairs. And, to me, that's what Rotary is really about. And you know, all these years of not having that Rotary moment, you hear people talk about the great things that, you know, the things that turned their life around, or the things that really taught them what Rotary meant. That's the thing that really taught me what Rotary meant, because, you know, these folks from this law firm treated me like I was family. They treated my brother like I was family. And that's one thing that no matter what in my life, I will never forget.
Hello, my name is Paula Anspach. I'm with Kings Bay Rotary Crystal River. Let me see, I became a Rotary, I joined Rotary several years ago, and my sponsor was actually a gentleman by the name of Paul Schlossberg. I was actually working at Black Diamond Ranch, and they, at that time, the club was meeting there. So I watched them come and go all the time and really didn't know that much about Rotary. And Paul actually came up to me one day and he said, I'm going to take you to lunch. We're going to talk about what we do. So he took me to lunch. As it turned out, it was a really nice restaurant. And the more he told me, the more that it made me think. And then he came back a couple weeks later and said, are you ready to come in and join us? And I did. Right away joined Rotary. For me, it was being part of a worldwide effort to make change. You think about making change, and what one individual can do is just awe-inspired when you think about what a group can do. And I think what's happened with polio stands for what a group can do. Who would have ever thought? I left my job at that time, and I'm actually a retired police officer, and had kind of thought I was going to retire again. And another gentleman came to me several times during the course of time afterwards and said, you know, you got to come back to Rotary. I did. And one of the things that really has been a real plus for me is being with people and having the four-way test as a testimony to what the ethics are in the community. And having been in law enforcement and seeing the other side, the work that we do and the effort that can be made around the world is just awe-inspiring. And you're working with people who have the ability to exercise and think the same way because of the ethics included.
Hello, my name is Connie Lobel, and I'm a member of the Rotary Club of Inverness. And I love Rotary. I love my club, I love my area, I love my district, and I love the whole zone and the international part of Rotary. I'm also the assistant governor for Area 8 and work with all the clubs, and they're dynamic clubs. What we do in our community is unbelievable as 6 clubs working together. But the part that really touches my heart is the youth of Rotary. My husband and I are involved in Rotary Youth Exchange, and the friends that I have made worldwide who do the same thing that we do right here in our district, in our own clubs with Rotary Youth Exchange students, is unbelievable. Worldwide, we're all dedicated to the future of Rotary because of the youth we have today. These young people travel from all over the world and come to live a year in Florida, and our students in Florida go all over the world to learn a culture there. Their counterparts over there, their counselors, their chairmen, they become part of our family here in our own district. We all are dedicated to the youth. I could go anywhere in this world and go visit those Rotarians who are part of Rotary Youth Exchange. They would welcome me into their home. I would welcome them here. We keep in touch constantly. But what I've realized is, as much as I love Rotary locally, I love the international part and the different cultures that Rotary brings to this world, and how we're all dedicated to the future of Rotary, not only here in our club and district level, but worldwide. Those are my friends. We meet twice a year, and I look forward to sitting down and having dinner.
My name is Alex Harding. I'm from Rotary Spring Hill Central in Hernando County, Florida. A couple of years ago, I decided to visit my local charities because I just moved down there, and 2 years prior, I had done an academic study on charitable giving with the University of North Carolina. I just wanted to see what the charities were like in the area. I visited a few and to see what they were like, and I visited the Rotary over at the country club, and they asked me to give a talk, and I did a talk on the selfishness of charitable giving. The selfishness is a good thing, because you can't share the good feeling that you get when you give of yourself. I had a great time, a great talk. They invited me in. I learned more about Rotary. I come to find out that Rotary isn't a hyper-focused charitable organization. They're more of a find what people need, how can we help humanity, everything from disease to literacy to clean water, nutrition, all the big top fives that economists look at to say what's going to help humanity the most. And I guess I can say I drank the Kool-Aid. It was great, because part of my studies is how much actual money and how much of the actual effort go to the people in need. Well, there's only about 10 charities in the world that break that 90-95% percentile. That means almost everything that Rotary does goes directly to the people in need. Now, I'm not talking about almost. I'm talking right on razor's edge, because nobody gets a paycheck. Everybody does it out of the kindness of their heart, and everyone wants to help everyone else. That's why I joined.
My name is Caroline Gorga, and I'm a member of the Rotary Club of St. Petersburg Sunset. I've been a member for about 3 years, and I joined because my job transferred me down to St. Petersburg. I work for the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, and I didn't know anybody. I had family in the area, but was trying to plug in and trying to find a way to give back to the community. So a family friend of mine, the Tree Levins, brought me to the Sunset Club because it is a young club, meets in the evenings, which worked with my schedule, and they were really about that hands-on service and having fun doing it. And so I went to a meeting, had a wonderful time meeting everybody. It came around, the next meeting was going to be one of our monthly socials, and it happened to be my birthday, and I was only there for that first month, so I didn't really have any plans. So I decided to get the confidence to go and hang out with all these people that I did not know, and I had a wonderful time. It was a great experience getting to know everybody, and they just welcomed me with open arms, and I realized that I'd found a connection to the community, found friends, and was going to find a great way to give back and get to know this new community that I was going to be a part of. So that is my Rotary story.
Hello, my name is Howard McClymont. I am the president-elect for Oldsmar East Lake Rotary. What brought me to Rotary is that a friend of mine actually had invited me from a Chamber of Commerce meeting over to Rotary. From before that, I really didn't know much about Rotary, but however, when I came over to Oldsmar East Lake Rotary, and I just felt the camaraderie, just felt really welcome inside the room, and the things that they were doing as far as feeding 30,000 people and doing different things as far as like the Children's Home Network, I felt it was a place that I needed to be at.
Hi, my name is Barbara Mallory, and I'm in the Dade City Sunrise Club. I joined Rotary about 2012 for about a year and a half, and then I had to step away for a while. It was in about 2015 when I went to the Monastery of the Holy Spirit for a silent retreat, when I read a sentence that really pulled me back into Rotary, and I'll read that sentence to you. Whether we like it or not, all human beings on earth are inextricably linked together in many ways: genetically, biologically, psychologically, socially, politically, economically, electronically, and in a larger evolutionary process. That stopped me in my tracks. And I just kind of became passionate about that idea. The next sentence I read was the punctuation mark to that. I thought it was beautiful. Each of us is a vital thread in every other person's tapestry. Our lives are woven together for a reason. And so when we think that somebody else's problem is not our problem, we really need to think again. Rotary gives me the chance to connect with other people in my club, in other clubs, and globally. So Rotary is really my vehicle to connect with people locally and with the world.
My name is Steve Spina. I'm the president-elect of the Zephyr Hills Rotary Club. I've been a member of Rotary for 35 years. My entire Rotary membership has been in Zephyr Hills. I was first brought to the club when I was about 30 years old, brought there by my boss, who was the editor of the local newspaper. I soon found that I could be a contributing member of the community and have exposure to outside forces and join in international projects like Polio Plus, and at the same time work with students in our community and build a stronger hometown for our residents. I find Rotary to be very rewarding, and I believe that the stronger the club, the stronger the community. So I look forward to working as president next year and building a stronger, more vibrant club.
Hi, I'm Theressa Foster, President-elect for Crystal River Rotary, and my Rotary story is this. I was asked numerous times to come to Rotary. I went to the luncheons and, honored my friends' requests, but I never joined. But then I was asked to go to a meeting by Johnny Cash, and I said yes, even though I really didn't want to, and Fancy Taylor was the president. And I was so intrigued by her emotions, her highs, her lows during the meeting, and her talk about being a family. And I have been involved in many service organizations, but my Rotary story is when I found this club in Crystal River, I found my home, my family. We have been through thick and thin together, and I love Crystal River Rotary, and I hope that I will be there 20 or 30 years like some of my fellow Rotarians.
My name is Ed Plazewski. I am the president-elect for the Rotary Club of Dade City, and this is about my Rotary experience. I was asked to go by the pastor of my church. It came at a time when I've been running my business for several years successfully, and I felt like giving a little bit back, and I knew a little bit about Rotary, not a lot, and said, why not? I'll go to the meeting. And he invited me back a second and a third time. Next thing I know, I heard from someone else that my name was being circulated to be a member. Wasn't sure I wanted to join, but I said, why not? And I became a Rotarian then, or actually became a Rhino, because I didn't do a lot, I just showed up to the meetings. And then several years ago, someone asked me to be on the board of directors, and that's when I really started getting involved in Rotary, finding out what it was about, and falling in love with Rotary. I love what they do. I wanted to be a part of it, and it just kept growing, and somehow I found myself as president-elect, and that's when it really expanded even more. Like it's been said, Rotary is just so deep, you can't explain it all in just 2 minutes, but I went to an event recently where we got gifts for children, teenagers, and I felt like that was a real life-changing experience for me. That was around Christmas time, and it just makes me want to do more.
Hi, my name is Marc Walker, and I'm the incoming president for the Bel Air Rotary Club. My Rotary moment was when I came to my club's major fundraiser as a guest from a client and found that it was a large group of very friendly people who were interested in helping the community. The level of interest in helping people really surprised me. Every member of Rotary that I've ever met has a help first attitude. The focus is to help other people get to where they want to go. Whatever someone needs, Rotarians make an effort to try and find that. So my Rotary moment is we're a helping organization. I enjoy helping people. It's what I do for a living. And I can't be more happy than to be involved with my club and Rotary International in general.